Siku zinasonga sambamba na matukio yanavyojiri.
Kuyajua hayo mbali na hamasa zilizopo kwingineko, shirika la utangazaji KBC limejitolea kuhakikisha ubora wa matangazo yasiyo na chuku.
Darubini huangazia mengi ya kusini na kaskazini, mashariki na magharibi na kukuwasilishia kwa njia stahiki.
Ufasaha, usawa, uketo, pasipo kuegemea upande wowote.
Iwapo hutakishaka kwa unachoarifiwa, Darubini itakidhi mahitaji yako.
Jina langu ni Nancy Onyancha.
Na mimi ni Harith Salim.
Jina langu ni Gladys Mungai.
Mimi ni Ahmed Jumabalo.
Nami ni Sarafina Robi.
KBC, angazo la Wakenya.
Welcome to the Kenya Deposit Insurance Corporation, or KDIC, a state corporation established under the KDI Act Cap 487C. KDIC, safer, stronger, together.
Mwanamke, kwa nini unisikizi?
Labda ninakuwa kiziwi. Ama ni hao unaosema ndo hayana maana.
Eti nini?
Oh, kumbe pia una matatizo ya kusikia. Wewe! Upe nini hapo lakini?
Achana na kalume wangu.
Yaani leo sina muda kujibizana na wewe. Nitakwambia kitu kimoja tu. Mwanamke hapigani mume, hupiganiwa yeye.
As we go on air tonight, the whereabouts of former Governor Ferdinand Waititu remains unknown just hours after his alleged abduction. Plus, tonight on the cabinet, we feature Sulaman Rashid Shakombo. Good evening. I am Tom Boyer, and this is Prime Edition. A bumpless road to DP's impeachment. High Court dismisses petitions that sought to stop Parliament from dislodging Rigathi Gachagua from the presidency.
Told that Mheshimiwa Waititu said things there which did not please some people.
Just where is Baba Yao? Opposition leaders accuse the police of arbitrary arrest of former Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu.
Lakini leo uamuzi wa koti ni kwamba lazima chama kiendelee, na chama itaendelea ikiwa na wale ambao walikuwa wamechaguliwa katika NDC ya mwezi wa 3 mwaka wa 2022.
It's back to factory settings. Courts return the Jubilee party leadership to Uhuru Kenyatta's men. MPs express doubt on the readiness to roll out the transition of NHIF to Social Health Authority. Many thanks indeed for joining us. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Lucy Moura. Engage with us on our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1. What are your thoughts on some of the stories that we are covering for you tonight? Let's open this coverage with our lead story now. The High Court has dismissed 2 petitions seeking to stop Parliament from Tuesday's planned impeachment of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. An application by former UDA Secretary General Cleophas Malala seeking to bar Parliament from considering the impeachment motion on grounds that the composition of the Senate as well as the National Assembly violates constitutional requirements was dismissed. The Sharia Mtaani lobby group also flopped in its attempt to block Gachagua's impeachment, with its case set for mention on the 9th of October. That report is the one opening our coverage tonight.
In the first attempt to block the impeachment of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, former UDA Secretary General Cleophas Malala argued that both the Senate and the National Assembly failed to meet the constitutional gender rule, hence both houses were unconstitutional. In his ruling on the matter, Justice Bahati Mwamuye certified the petition as urgent but declined to issue interim orders stopping the impeachment motion. The second attempt to shield Gachagua from impeachment was by Sharia Mtaani lobby group, whose application was dismissed by Justice Chacha Mwita, who ordered the case be mentioned on October 9th.
We have gone to court based on the utterances done by the Deputy Speaker, one Gladys Boss Sholay, armed with a crude weapon, a bakora, a rungu. She uttered utterances to the effect that she will ensure she will throw out Rigije from office.
In the application, the lobby group sought to stay the attempt to remove Gachagua, pending the hearing and determination whether the National Assembly, having predetermined the guilt of Gachagua, was competent to preside over the impeachment motion.
So we are having a referee who tells us before the beginning of the game that this team X, Manchester United, is going to win this game. Now you ask yourself, then what is the reason of now participating in the game altogether if the referee has decided, even before the commencement of the game, that this team is going to win?
With the 2 petitions dismissed, the ball is now with the MPs, as a notice of motion for removal of Deputy President from office is expected on the floor of the National Assembly Tuesday afternoon. The National Assembly Minority Whip Millie Odhiambo, while speaking in Bita, instructed members of a coalition to support the impeachment motion against Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua.
There is an unwritten rule that we don't guza it if you don't guza Raila Amolo Odinga. You touch Raila, we touch. Like me, I do not sign that petition. The moment Wamaua touched Raila, I looked for the list and I've already signed.
But if the impeachment motion comes on the floor, we stand guided by articles. We do not want to hear issues of debate on such kind of wars which are not ours. We want service deliveries to the Kenyans. That is our focus. That is our position.
Nyandarua County Ward representatives, on the other hand, cautioned MPs against supporting the motion of impeachment.
Sisi tulikuchagua kwa sababu ulichukua mmoja wetu anaitwa Rigathi Gachagua. Na Rigathi Gachagua ndiye alikuwa ametuconnect. Na kwa sababu wanasema ya kwamba Rigathi ni mkabila. Kama yeye angekuwa mkabila sana, si basi mngechukua yule mtu wa kutoka upande wa Teso, mngechukua mtu wa kutoka Kuria akuwe running mate wako. No Gachagua. No. Gachagua. No.
Sentiments echoed by a section of UDA delegates from 17 Nairobi constituencies who called for truce between the president and his deputy. Shako Washira, Prime Edition.
Now the country is tonight waiting with all eyes firmly fixed on Parliament amid growing anticipation that lawmakers may debate the conduct of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, of course, tomorrow in the afternoon, with a view of passing a no-confidence vote against the DP. Edward Kabasa takes a closer look at the scenarios that may play out should the person of the Deputy President become the subject of an impeachment process.
Kenya's Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is a man under siege. Lawmakers are toying with the idea of hounding him out of office. Well, impeaching a deputy president in Kenya is a process guided by the Constitution of Kenya, primarily under Article 150. Let's walk through how it works. First, a member of the National Assembly must initiate the process by proposing a motion for impeachment. The grounds for this motion must be clearly stated and must fall under one of three categories: gross violation of the Constitution or any other law, the commission of a crime under national or international law, or gross misconduct. This is specified under Article 150, subsection 1A and B. Once the motion is presented, it must be supported by at least 1/3 of all members of the National Assembly. Given that there are 349 members in total, this means that at least 117 members must support the motion for it to proceed. If this threshold is met, the motion is then tabled for debate. After the debate, the National Assembly must vote on the resolution. Here, the Constitution requires a much higher threshold. At least 2/3 of all members of the National Assembly must approve the impeachment. In numbers, that means 233 members out of 349 must vote in favor of the motion for it to move forward to the Senate.
Honorable Senators, I wish to welcome you to this special sitting of the Senate.
Once it reaches the Senate, the process enters a different phase. Article 145, subsection 4, allows the Senate to form a special committee to investigate the allegations. This committee, if formed, conducts an inquiry and reports its findings back to the entire Senate.
This motion, Mr. Speaker.
Finally, the Senate debates the matter. For the Deputy President to be removed from office, at least 2/3 of all senators must support the impeachment. With 67 senators, this means that at least 45 must vote in favor of the charges. If the Senate votes to uphold the charges, then the Deputy President is removed from office immediately, as stipulated under Article 150, subsection 2. Thus, the process is quite rigorous, requiring high levels of parliamentary support at each stage to ensure that the decision to remove a deputy president is made thoughtfully and with significant backing.
Well, those are the scenarios around the planned impeachment of the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. And of course, we'll be tracking that event that has really captured the attention of the nation. But in other news, legislators have expressed doubt on the readiness of the Social Health Authority ahead of its official rollout Tuesday, saying that there is still some grey areas that need clarity. While appearing before the National Assembly Health Committee, Health Cabinet Secretary Deborah Mulongo had a very difficult time explaining the methodology as well as the process of means testing, its impact on low-income earners and value for money. As Kamchemeza reports, the government maintains teething problems will be addressed even as the Kenya Medical Supplies Authority flagged off the health products and technologies in readiness for the new healthcare insurance.
At the stroke of midnight, Kenya will switch to the newly established Social Health Insurance Fund. However, more questions now abound as to whether the departure from the National Health Insurance Fund has been marred by numerous false starts.
Up to this point in time, the ministry has failed to submit to Parliament the signed tender document for the consortium.
Lawmakers questioned the practicability of the means testing instrument, which the Social Health Authority targets for contributions by low-income earners.
I wanted to know the intelligence of the means testing. How intelligent is it in terms of what you did? For example, a mama who wants 150 shillings a day, we did the means testing on her, and we found out 2.75% will be paid for her, and she is required to pay annually. So how much money is this mama paying? How are you going to deduct it?
It will be similar to the Hustlers Fund.
How? It will be for the loan. For this kind of.
But 0% interest.
How will you deduct it?
From M-Pesa. Tomorrow this is the owning a cow in Githunguri and owning a cow, please don't take offense, in Narok has different income implications. Now we are using about 17 variables, ranging from your source of water, source of lighting, source of power, material building your house, and all those. If I'm putting the information, all you want to know, you put your information, if you go star 147 or whatever, we put that information down. I get the number I should pay. Is that what is going to happen? That is correct, Chair. That is what you want us to tell us. So tomorrow when I go to church, I tell them, from tomorrow, we'll have two systems. NHIF system will remain. We'll still be processing both claims that were lodged with NHIF, so that system will remain. In any case, the law requires that we have to maintain data and records for a period of 7 years.
As I leave this meeting today, I don't have an answer on what to tell people on this 2.75%, and where we have been told there will be somewhere they will be keying particular parameters.
But even as the lawmakers demanded more answers, the Ministry of Health, through the Kenya Medical Supplies Authority, flagged off medical supplies and technology to various counties in readiness for the shift to a new insurance regime. Kamche Menza for Prime Edition.
Now, as uncertainty surrounds the official rollout of the Social Health Authority that is set to replace the National Health Insurance Fund, a spot check by KBC Channel 1 revealed that many have not migrated to the new scheme. Dori Narange puts that story in perspective.
Tuesday, 1st October 2024, will see the country transition to a new health scheme, the Social Health Authority. And Kenyans seem to have more questions than answers.
Sasa tofauti ya SHIF na NHIF ni nini? Tuanzie hapo.
Ondicho Mahmood, a resident of Nairobi County, says he is yet to register.
Previously, we were using NHIF, and they have not come for the public participation of people so that we can decide which way to go.
Anthony Luanga says he has no idea how to enlist. We tell him he can register by dialing the USSD code *147#.
Penye imekuwa ni shida, hata kurejesa inakuwa ni shida. Inachukua muda mrefu sana kuingia. Wakati mwingine na unajaribu ku login, inakataa, inakwambia connection unavailable.
Luanga, just like the majority of those we spoke to, says that it will be prudent for the government to extend the registration window.
Kali ingerudisha, ingesimamisha 90 days zingine, wafanye proper public participation kwa makanisa, kwa mahali watu wanajumuika kwa wingi, ili wajue SHIF ina uzuri gani kushinda NHIF.
This even as some question the significance of registering afresh, yet their details are with the repealed National Health Insurance Fund.
I'm registered under NHIF, and I believe because they will be shifting the systems, all those who are registered in NHIF will just move automatically to SHIF.
Joseph Wanjala, a fresh graduate, alluded to the confusion experienced in the registration process.
I'm waiting for the confusion, everything that is there to settle down before I pick it up.
The script is the same in other parts of the country. In Homa Bay County, residents are concerned over the logistical hurdles in registration.
The challenges again when you try to select that patient, it is restricted to some places. You cannot select the hospital of your choice. And again, sometimes when you want to put your dependent, like you want to put your child or your husband, it is limited.
A section observed that NHIF was working well and only needed enhancement.
Kwa anatuambia NHIF ni jina hii, makosa yake ni hii na hii na hii na hii, ama upungufu wake ni huu. Ndiposa wabadilishe jina sasa waite SHIF.
The general feeling is that there is a need for more awareness.
Pia watupe muda, watume watu watufunze, tujue hii kitu inaendaje.
This sensitization has seen a charity organization in Kakamega County register tens of elderly persons.
As Mama Ibado, we saw it fit to come forward and
offer a whole package in terms of a feeding program and a healthcare program. So today we are partnering with government authorities to have a medical scheme under the SHAA.
As of Friday, the 27th of September, 1.6 million Kenyans had registered. Doreen Arange for Prime Edition.
From Share to Shah, to a short break here at Broadcasting House. And coming up, the whereabouts of Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu still remains unknown. Stay with us. We'll be back with more details.
Welcome to the Kenya Deposit Insurance Corporation, or KDIC, a state corporation established under the KDI Act Cap 487C. But who exactly are we? KDIC provides a deposit insurance for customers of member institutions. This means we protect your hard-earned money deposited in banks, giving you peace of mind knowing that your savings are safe. KDIC is also mandated to receive, liquidate, and wind up troubled banks, as well as provide incentives for sound risk management. We are here to protect your bank deposit and, together with other safety net players, ensure a stable financial system. KDIC, safer, stronger, together.
Pata the master flare kwenye star 570 hash option ya 4 na ushindi wako tunautangaza the 6th of October. Tucheze, tusaidie, tushinde!
It's been a long weekend, but tonight I'm right here just to serve you with everything that has been happening over the weekend.
No beer party in Kenya is bigger than the Oktoberfest, monikered the ultimate beer fest.
Can I please write your number down?
The search of the 2024-2025 Mr., Miss and Mrs. Heritage International Kenya. This was a fun-filled event with exciting vintage classic cars,
Welcome back. Engage with us on our socials at KBC Channel 1 on all our social media platforms. Now, the whereabouts of former Kiambu County Governor Ferdinand Waititu remain unknown, hours after he was allegedly abducted by persons suspected to be state security agents. According to Wiper Democratic Movement leader Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, Waititu was taken into custody over remarks he made at an event in Ruiru, Kiambu County. Kalonzo spoke on Monday at the DCI headquarters situated along the Kiambu Road, where he had gone to seek information on Waititu, accompanied by DAP Kenya leader Eugene Wamalwa, Jeremiah Kioni, and Senator Dan Manzo.
We are told that Mheshimiwa Waititu said things there which did not please some people. We want to tell those people, whoever they are, shame on you. This is not the way to operate in a democracy.
Intimidation will not work. The era of intimidation is over, and we are not going to be intimidated.
And we are being treated like hooligans at the gate. This office is a public institution. It should be open to the public, and especially for lawyers who have a brief to represent their client. You cannot be denied access to your own client.
Into the corridors of justice now, the High Court has reinstated the Jubilee party leadership to the faction led by Jeremiah Kioni. In a virtual ruling, Justice Janet Mulwa nullified the National Executive Committee decision by the Kanini Kega and Sabina Chege-led faction that had removed Vice Chairman David Murathe, Secretary General Kioni, and Treasurer Kagwe Gishohi. Speaking at the Jubilee headquarters in Nairobi, Kenya, Kioni welcomed the ruling, extending the olive branch to their rival faction to join them in serving the party.
We've been looking forward to this day when we'll have our party back so that we can continue the functions of our party. Jubilee ni chama inapendwa sana na watu wote across the board. Mimi kama leader wa Gen Z wananiambia hapa ndo home. Lakini hizi msukosuko zimekuwa, tumejua msukosuko imekuwa ikikontroliwa na nani? Lakini leo si ameshindwa? Ameshindwa. Si ameshindwa? Chama siko imara. Na sisi na party leader wetu Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta tunapeleka hii party to the next level.
Leo tunafurahi kwa sababu koti tena imetoa huo uamuzi na kuhakikisha kwamba chama kiendelee mbele kikiongozwa na party leader Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni, Vice Chairman David Murathe na treasurer mzee anaitwa Gishohi. Kwa hivyo hayo ndio mambo ambayo tunafurahia leo, na tunasema kwamba tunawapokea wote, hata wale walikuwa wametupeleka kotini, kwa mikono miwili. Wale ambao pia walikuwa wameenda kwa miema mingine kila bahali, kujeni tujenge chama pamoja na tuchangie maendeleo ya Kenya pamoja. And thank you so much. We also want to thank the courts for the judgment that they have laid out, a very elaborate judgment. And we thank them for the way they have continued to issue judgments from the High Court.
Now, the Ministry of Labour and Social Protection plans to fully digitize the Inua Jamii program to enable cash transfers via mobile phones to senior citizens. Cabinet Secretary Dr. Alfred Mutua says that this is part of a broader initiative to increase the number of vulnerable persons receiving state assistance by at least 50%. Here's that report.
Of older persons receiving cash transfers under the Inua Jamii program has increased by 66% over the last 2 years, from 733,000 in 2022 to 1.2 million in 2024.
We already have enumerators on the ground. We are trying to get everybody onboarded so that we can have a good cash transfer system that leaves no one out and no one behind. At the same time, we promised that 1st of December, we'll now start going digital.
Additionally, the ministry plans to roll out a nutrition-sensitive cash transfer program targeting 40,500 beneficiaries across 11 counties in the current financial year. Others include the implementation of the Street Family Rehabilitation County chapters in 12 counties and the finalization of the Older Persons Bill 2024 and the National Policy for Persons with Disabilities.
The ministry also commits to provide care, safe custody and rehabilitation of children in need of special protection by disbursing nutrition-sensitive cash transfer to 40,500 beneficiaries in 11 counties of Tana River, Garissa, Wajir, Wandera, Samburu, Isiolo, Kitui, Kilifi, Marsabit, West Pokot and Turkana.
These targets will be subject to vetting under the Ministerial Performance Contract commitments for the 2024-2025 financial year through the Office of the Chief of Staff, Performance and Delivery Management.
We are approaching the end of the year, which is a good time to pause and reflect on the gains that have been made, to identify plans that were made and did not quite pan out as expected, and to ask what should be done to take corrective action.
For Prime Edition, I'm Christine Matunda.
Now, Sulaman Rashid Chakombo's journey from a humble beginning in Kwale to becoming a key political figure in Kenya is one marked by resilience and strategic maneuvering, with a career spanning decades in public administration and politics, transitioning into even higher government roles, including Minister of State for National Heritage and Culture. This week, on the Cabinet, we focus on Chakombo, who served as President in President Mwai Kibaki's administration.
Born in 10th February 1940 in then Kwale District, now Kwale County, Sulaman Rashid Shikombo attended primary school in his native Kwale between 1949 and 1955 and secondary school between 1956 and 1959, after which he joined the Kenya Ports Authority as a cadet supervisor between 1960 and 1961, before landing a job with the Ministry of State for Provincial Administration and Internal Security as a district assistant at Independence in 1963. After serving for a decade, 1 year as a cadet supervisor 1960 to 1961, and 9 as a district assistant from 1963 to 1972, he was promoted to the post of district officer in 1973. 5 years later, in 1978, he was promoted to district commissioner, serving in the capacity in many parts of the country until 1981, when he was elevated to the position of undersecretary in the Ministry of Culture and Social Services. He was a totally unknown entity in Likoni before he entered the political arena in 1997. He left the provincial administration and backed by a little-known Shirikisho party, unseated Caliph Salim Movumo, who was from the more popular Forum for Restoration Democracy Kenya, Ford Kenya. Shikombo became the first candidate in the country to win a parliamentary seat on Shirikisho Party of Kenya ticket. Shortly before the 2002 general election, he strategically and publicly defected to the ruling party KANU without notifying Shirikisho only months to the polling day. Shirikisho replaced Shikombo as chairman with Mashengu Wamwachofe. Come election time, Shikombo changed course, walking to Mwai Kibaki's National Rainbow Coalition, NAC. He was an astute reader of the political barometer, and come 27 December, he comfortably retained his seat on NAC ticket. Towards the end of 2005, he was appointed Minister of State for National Heritage and Culture in the office of the Vice President. He impressed President Kibaki as a performer at the constituency level. President Kibaki lauded him and his constituency development fund team for making good use of the kitty, particularly in the building of girls' schools. It was during his tenure as a Minister of State for National Heritage and Culture that a historical artifact removed from Kenya years before and exhibited in a United States museum was returned. He was among the leaders who in 2007 teamed up to champion the establishment of a university at the coast. He was an important cog in President Kibaki's campaign at the coast in 2007. Shikombo lost his Likoni seat to Mwalimu Masood Mwahima of ODM in the 2007 general election. President Kibaki appointed Shikombo as chairman of Kenya Petroleum Refineries Limited in 2009, a post to which he was reappointed for a year by President Uhuru Kenyatta in 2015. Jackie Wambiru, The Cabinet.
Now, into the corridors of justice, a senior government printer employee has been charged with stealing 367 security-featured serialized papers used for printing land titles. The suspect, Philip Wanjala Makongolo, is accused of conspiring to steal the said papers that he had access to because of his job. This, as a businesswoman, has denied defrauding 3 land buyers of over 70 million shillings by pretending that she was in a position to sell them parcels of land located at Karen Brooks in Nairobi, Kenya. Details in our Skills of Justice segment.
You are facing a charge of stealing by servant Appearing before Chief Magistrate Lucas Onyina, Philip Wanjala Makongolo was charged with stealing security-featured serial papers. The court was informed that being a senior government printer employee, he used his position in bad faith. Makongolo was ordered to secure his release by depositing a bond of 300,000 shillings awaiting pre-trial.
Purporting it to be a genuine transfer registered by...
And a business lady has been charged for defrauding 3 land buyers over 50 million shillings by pretending she was in a position to sell them pieces of land. Evangeline Nyawira is accused of defrauding Magdalena Njere, Moses Mwenda and Moses Oringo Lango by forging a grant title and purporting it to be a genuine land transfer done at the Nairobi Land Registry.
The accused person has been out on police cash bail of Kenya shillings 200,000. She is therefore granted the same terms of cash bail of Kenya shillings 200,000 with one contact person.
The case is set for mention in October. Elsewhere, a businessman has been arraigned in court for obtaining 43 million shillings through false pretense. Jivanji Hassanali is accused of defrauding Mohamed Lukmanji by pretending he was in a position to exchange the amount for US dollars.
Cash bail of the same amount with one contact person. The case is allocated to court number 8.
Pre-trial is set for 9th October. From Muranga, local househelp has been charged for allegedly stealing 300,000 shillings from her employer and being in possession of stolen goods worth 31,000 shillings. The accused, Jane Mudhoni, who pleaded not guilty before Chief Magistrate Peter Ndwiga, claimed the money was gifted to her by her employer and was surprised that the same employer had turned against her.
And for now, the admission of the accused to bond was held in abeyance. Receipt of the affidavit from the...
She will remain in custody until 14th October pending bond determination. Ruth Wamboi for Prime Edition.
Well, I'm holding down the fort for the business anchor tonight, and Kenya is looking to improve its public service delivery through a new strategic partnership with Italy to leverage space technology and other emerging innovations. In a meeting with Italian Minister of Enterprises Adolfo Urso, the Cabinet Secretary for Information Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Margaret Ndungu, noted that adoption of new technologies would help in addressing the long-standing gaps in the country's technological infrastructure affecting delivery of public service.
Inadequate technological infrastructure, such as poor internet connectivity in rural areas and a lack of innovation in integrating emerging technologies have been major challenges plaguing the country's service delivery. The Ministry of Information, Communication and the Digital Economy is hoping to shift this approach through a partnership with Italy.
The issue of artificial intelligence, an area we are ready to move forward, and considering that we do not want to link artificial intelligence with the socio-economic development. Again, the work you are doing is very impressive.
By learning from Italy's advanced AI capabilities, the CS says Kenya could better harness the potential of artificial intelligence technologies for predictive analytics in agriculture and automation in manufacturing to drive socio-economic development.
We'll also be very happy to get more information with regard to the concept of the project you're planning to have and possibility of partnering and ensuring that you have a hub in Kenya. I think that would be very good for us.
Other potential areas of collaboration will include the creation of a unified integrated healthcare system, manufacturing of chips and digital devices, hoping to close the gap in AI adoption to allow Kenya to compete in the global digital economy. Trevor Ngendo for Prime Edition.
Investors in the hospitality industry have been encouraged to invest in specialized hotel architects in order to set up facilities that offer the right product to potential clients. Women African Tourism Board Vice President Jacqueline Jao says that most hotel architectural designs limit activities and services offered by the facilities. Hence, the need to consult hotel architects before starting constructions.
Kenya earned 352.5 billion shillings from tourism receipts in 2023, representing a 32% increase from the previous year. The increase was driven by a 32% increase in tourist arrivals that saw Kenya host 1.95 million visitors. Players in the sector say the number could be higher if the hotels integrated architectural designs that can allow facilities support multiple functions. Women African Tourism Board Vice President Jacqueline Jau says most local hotels have conventional architecture that only supports bed and breakfast, limiting the number of guests and activities visitors can undertake.
Hotels are classified in many ways. We have airport hotels, we have business hotels, we have safari hotels, we have eco lodges, we have boutique lodges. So it's just having to define your product rightly.
Prospective hospitality investors have been advised to consider contracting hotel architects specialized in hotel designing before setting up the facilities.
Ask any person who wants to do a hotel right now to just involve the hotel consultant services so that you don't go wrong.
The architectural design should also blend with the region's geography for sustainability.
You find most people do a hotel 2-3 years down the line, it's not making sense to anyone because the shifts change overnight. So if you're not really updated with the trends, you'll be left wondering where the train took off.
Arrivals are forecast to reach 2.38 million this year. Benson Rioba reporting for Prime Edition.
Avieta imerahisishwa. Sasa kuna njia mpya na rahisi ya kucheza Avieta. *419# kwenye simu yako na ucheze wakati wowote.
Harambee Stars are set to face Cameroon in October before hosting the return leg in Kampala in mid-October. Catch the matches live on KBC Channel 1 as both teams chase slots for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations live on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Welcome back to the business segment. Vegetable vendors have been encouraged to set up traceable systems, to increase food safety. Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition says that there is need for farm-to-fork monitoring system to increase consumption of healthy foods and also to open up international markets for Kenyan vegetables.
Kenya's vegetable consumption has remained stagnant over the past decade at 100 to 130 grams per person per day, below WHO's 400 grams recommendation. Nutritionists blame the low consumption, especially in urban areas, to poor food safety that has seen many shy away from consuming vegetables. Vegetable vendors have been encouraged to consider putting up traceability systems to ensure they source vegetables from accredited farmers. Increased food safety is touted to increase the country's vegetable consumption, creating additional market for farmers.
Human beings are supposed to be consuming 400 grams of fruits and vegetables every day, but where we are as a country is at about 130 grams per day. So we are below the recommended amounts of vegetables that we should be consuming daily per person.
Good food safety rankings will also create additional international market for Kenyan produce.
Vegetables are very important on health of human beings because of the micronutrients and those are vitamins and minerals that are in the vegetables and which have very important roles that they play in our health.
Unapata customer amesimamisha gari, anakuambia customer kwamba nifungie mboga na unichanganyishie wewe mwenyewe mboga za kienyeji niende nikule. Ninapomchanganyishia anapoenda kukula mwenyewe tena the next day anajirudisha tu mwenyewe. Nipe kama kawaida kama jana. Na ninaponiambia kawaida kama jana namwambia kwamba sitakupea kawaida kama jana. Wacha nikubadilishie tena variety ingine uende ukakule. Tena utakuja tena kubadilishie tena. Sasa wanapenda kukuja kwa sababu na wachanganyishanga mboga.
Familia yangu nimewaelimisha kwa maana ya kukula matunda na mboga, lakini kuna change kubwa sana. Sasa hiyo anaendelea wakiimprove.
The Netherlands has started a 1.9 billion shillings vegetable for all program that seek to increase vegetable safety and consumption.
Food safety is very crucial for everyone, for everyone's health. And the project has a very important component of actually promoting the food safety measures in vegetable business and vegetables value chain as a whole.
According to WHO, poor vegetable consumption leads to an annual 3.9 million deaths globally. Benson Rioba reporting for Prime Edition.
Now, researchers and innovators have been urged to collaborate in order to create solutions that speak to the needs and challenges facing Kenyans. Innovators have been called upon to localize their solutions to address pressing societal challenges in sectors such as healthcare, agriculture, and education.
While universities and research institutions have made strides in creating new technologies and products, many of them remain either unknown to the general public or disconnected from the practical needs of the population. Stakeholders now want researchers to collaborate to ensure that Kenyans are aware of the potential solutions being developed for faster adoption and implementation.
The knowledge level among the practitioners is not as always envisaged, it is lower. And we have other pieces of information here, very simple, which can help the farmers, the practitioners, and even the traders. So the take is we need to engage more. The challenge is how do we? Media also needs to come on board and help us, and also the citizens need to engage us more and more.
Among innovations showcased at the trade fair include a creation by JKUAT lecturer Dr. Paul Kinoti, which uses snails to create products like cough syrup and shower gel with sunscreen.
We are intending to promote for use in addressing persistent coughs among small children, especially under 5 years of age. This is an improvement because the previous one we had focused more on the use of the slime from the snail and the honey.
Through snail farming, we are coming up with the products, the value-added products, and we have trained several youths, and they have started farming the snail, and they are actually, for them, because of the energy they have, most of them are directing it to export market.
Not many farmers can be able to kufanya hivyo. So mimi naweza wauliza kama universities wale waweze kubridge hiyo gap, waangalie farmers wanaweza afford nini. Affordability ya mfumo kama ule ndio unaweza kuwa unatutatiza.
Mark Nganga, an electrical engineer from Zetech University, has developed a face detection technology, a device he hopes could be adopted by institutions that require ID cards for access.
Impressed with the technology, since it's a technology that is helping improve on the access and the security of places. That's a positive feedback.
The innovators have called on the government to provide them with more platforms to showcase their innovations. Trevor Ngendo for Prime Edition.
Pata the master flare kwenye star 570 hash option ya 4 na ushindi wako tunautangaza the 6th of October. Tucheze, tusaidie, tushinde!
A very good evening and welcome to Prime Edition Sports with me, Bernard Okumu. And Sati Gati Aura's 1977 Nissan 160J emerged the winner of the 52nd Africa Concours d'Elegance held here in Nairobi. Meanwhile, with the upcoming FKF elections fast approaching, FKF presidential candidate Hussein Mohamed has raised concerns regarding the transparency and communication from the FKF Electoral Board.
Sati Gataura achieved the feat with a cumulative total of 269 points to recapture the title he had won in 1988. His 1947 MGT took the second position with a total of 264 points. The 1937 MGTA of Parashah completed the podium with a cumulative total of 256 points. On his way to the summit, Sati managed 38 points on the car underside, 72 on external finish, 58 on interior boot, 55 on the engine, and 6 on roadworthiness. David Othuno's 1989 Yamaha Super Tenere won the motorcycle overall category, scoring a total of 142 points. The car category was the center of attraction this year, with 15 classes at stake. Elsewhere, with the upcoming FKF elections fast approaching, FKF presidential candidate Hussein Mohamed has raised concerns regarding the transparency and communication from the FKF Electoral Board. Mohamed expressed the growing frustration among stakeholders about the lack of clear information from the board, especially regarding critical electoral processes. Mohamed emphasized that the board must prioritize transparency and clear communication as the election date approaches.
We are now getting very worried. We are asking the electoral board, where are the polling centers upcoming elections? Is the board going to go to the grassroots to get the club verification process done?
And finally, newly promoted 3KFC claimed a 1-0 victory over Migori's Luanda Villa in a National Super League match played at Embu Stadium. 3KFC netted the winning goal in the 65th minute through a penalty converted by striker Michael Masharia. The victory gives 3KFC momentum as they continue their NSL journey, with their next match against Fortune Shako in Kirinyaga set to test their consistency in the league.
And still on matters upcoming football elections, where Football Kenya Federation's Electoral Board has published the register of clubs eligible to vote at the national and county levels on the website. Now, in a press release sent to the media on Monday afternoon, the board advises any individuals with disputes or complaints on the register to lodge them between Thursday, October 3rd, 2024 and Saturday, October 5th, and accompanied with the mandatory documents, which include league standings for all the number of years the club has participated in the FKF leagues, player cards for all the players and for all the number of seasons played, submit fixtures for the number of seasons played, and lastly, an affiliation letter from the relevant FKF branch and or proof of affiliation to FKF, including proof of any payments made to FKF as affiliation fees. Anyone not satisfied with the board's decisions can seek recourse of the appeals committee between Monday, October 7th and Wednesday, October 9th on the appeals board at appeals@eb.football.kenya.org. The final list of eligible clubs at both levels will be published on Thursday, October 10th. And now to boxing, where the third edition of the Nairobi Fight Night will take place on Tuesday night with 5 fights on the cards at Alchemist here in Nairobi. Samuel Njomo and Rafael Mutua clash in the main event of the night in a non-title lightweight fight. Speaking after the weigh-in session on Monday, both camps exuded confidence ahead of the contest. In the undercards, Daniel Owino faces Collins Nyakwaka in the cruiserweight class. Samuel Kogeluk battles Zebedayo Mgogo in the middleweight division, while Hussein Hassan faces fellow flyweight Amir Salim, while Joshua Mutua will face Dalmas Chalo in the bantamweight category.
Jambo nimemwona akicheza last game hapa na niliona vile anacheza na tumetrain na Mutua, tumetrain weak point zake tumetrainisha Mutua, tumemwambia na strong point zake tumetrain.
Na ni tofauti na amateur, jo hitting power, scoring ni tofauti. So nimeprepare that round venye tutaanza hadi venye ni ku stick to the plan.
And marksman Ibrahim Ndungu led Team Kenya's medal quest at this year's edition of the IPSC Africa Shooting Competition held at the Frontier Shooting Range in Motlosana, South Africa. Now Ndungu led compatriots Maurice Njagi, Ashu Senik and Sohaib Timimi to win silver for Kenya in the production division category, where host South Africa bagged gold. Sami Onyango, Gerald Edo and Mohamed Aden bagged bronze in the production optic category, as Issa, Jasmia Sian and Mohamed Ramadan settled for the third position in the open division category. Now in the ladies category, Kenya's Agnes Mushiri won silver. Finally, the National Olympic Committee of Kenya President Paul Tergat and 1999 Berlin Marathon record holder Tekla Lorupe have been inducted into the Berlin Marathon Hall of Fame. Now, Tergat was inducted after becoming the first man to break the 2 hours 5 minutes barrier in the marathon when he clocked 2 hours 4 minutes and 55 seconds to win the Berlin Marathon in 2003. Lorupe, on the other hand, was inducted after she became the first woman to break a marathon record in the 1999 marathon with a record time of 2 hours 20 minutes and 43 seconds. Also in the list was 2011 Berlin Marathon champion Patrick Macau, who was inducted after winning the Berlin Marathon with a record time of 2 hours 3 minutes and 38 seconds. The former long-distance runners and icons were inducted during the 50th edition of the Berlin Marathon held on Sunday. And that's it from the sports desk. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Bernardo Kumu. Have a lovely night.
And that brings us to the end of Prime Edition tonight. We want to thank you for joining us. Of course, we'll be back again tomorrow with more stories that matter to you. Follow us on our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1. On behalf of the entire Prime Edition team, I want to thank you. My name is Tomboya, wishing you a good night and a peaceful evening. Stay informed, stay safe. Bye-bye.
This year's Nairobi International Trade Fair brought together businesses, individuals and children, just to mention but a few, to enjoy exhibitions and different activities at the showground. Thousands of Kenyans